Okay, let's see. Go ahead and give a talk. Okay, I can hear you. The question is, can audio hear you? Audio input capture. Go ahead and talk. Okay, do it again. So weird. I'm not getting you. Now I'm getting. It's like it just turns on and off. I can hear about them though. Okay. Okay, let me check one more thing. Okay, I'd like you to say a few things there, but yeah, one more time. Make real loud sounds. Okay. right. Let's see, I'm going to choose to reconnect your mic. Gabe, go ahead and keep it, if you don't mind keeping it on in the background until I can see your mic on, just so I can. Yeah, audio settings, default, MacBook microphone. I wonder if you're sending. I wonder. I mean, you're sending fine. I'm just wondering. A direct solo view of the video stream with nothing. We'll keep it short. Audio settings, scene options, audio settings. I mean, I can hear you fine through this. That's what's sort of weird. Audio gain on, echo collection off. Default. Oh, external headphones. Let's go through streaming. Okay. Yeah, yours, so output, default external headphones. If I do, yes, but if I do your audio to streaming microphone instead, Steam streaming, Microsoft Teams, MacBook speakers, Steam streaming speakers. It's not Steam streaming, is it? No. So I got external headphones, but I can hear it. Yeah, I can hear it, but copy solo view. I'm just going to try this. What did Ben say? Great, but can they hear Gabe? But how do I do that? For those of you who are listening, I'm trying to get the link to Ben so that he can have the access to the director's link, but I don't even know where to find that. Hey, Ben.
Okay, everyone can hear you.
Yep.
Let's try not to be involved here, but I can help. Do
Yep.
you see the links that I sent you in
Yep.
Discord?
Yep, I do.
Okay, that is the link that you need to use as a browser source in OBS.
Got it.
You're using the wrong browser source in OBS, and that's why it's not working.
Copy.
Okay, so copy that link, use it as your browser source in OBS. Both you and Rennie and Gabriel are in there, and as soon as that link is there, you'll both show up on the stream.
It is. It is in there, and so when I can see him, but I just can't. I can hear him too over my headphones. I'm just concerned that OBS isn't hearing him.
Okay, so if you're using that browser source,
Mm-hmm.
can you try opening that browser source in another tab?
I'll do another tab.
So look at what's happening in another tab that lets you monitor what you're sending to OBS.
Yep.
Ask Gabriel for another sound check.
Sound check, Gabe.
Is that coming through in your browser window?
Yep.
Okay, then it's going through an OBS.
Okay, great. Well, then we'll get started. We'll see how it goes.
That is your audio source and your browser source in OBS. You should be good to go.
It should work. Yep. Thanks, Ben. Bye. All right. Let's get going. Oops. So, let's see what happens here. There you go.
Here we go.
How you doing?
Good. Hi. Here we are.
Excellent. Well, listen, thanks for patience, everybody, as we're sort of testing out OBS on my computer here. It seems like everything is working fine. Let me unmute the broadcast. Everything seems to be doing okay. So I'm just going to do one quick check here on the back end, and if everything is going good, then let's see here. All right. Great. You guys can hear me? And Gabe, go ahead and talk.
Go ahead and talk. All right. Wait, throw me to the wolves there.
Well, no, I think everyone here did too. So everybody, thanks for joining us. Thanks for joining us today at 5:05, 5:06. We call it whiskey time because I was going to call it coffee time, but it's a little late in the afternoon. So thanks for joining us today on our sort of quickly ad hoc discussion around Gamers 2 Attack of the Pwns. And we have the director of Attack of the Pwns, Gabe, here. And so glad to have him here. So, hi, Gabe.
Hi. Don't mind my child who's incapable of playing video games without narrating. So hopefully that's not too distracting. Hello, everybody. We're here in the midst of the final stretch of crowdfunding, but also just wanted to talk to people, see if anyone has any questions. Rennie also, I believe, had some info to share.
Yes. I have some stuff, but I first just wanted to come in here and I hear I'm echoing. Am I still echoing pretty badly, everybody?
I don't hear any echo.
Yeah, let's try that. See if that makes a difference. That goes only me, so I'll just do less talking. Let's see if I can just adjust this right here. Maybe that will make a little bit of a difference. two sources. What about now? Does this make a difference? Hello? Testing? Testing. I think this is a little better. Mute myself on the other desktop. I think Ben just took care of that part. Okay, now I'm good. Great. All right. So I guess, first off, Gabe, let's talk a little bit about production leading into this. I know that we ended up having to break the shooting up, but normally at Zoe, historically, we went ahead and we crowdfund first, right? We've been really blessed to have a pretty dedicated fan base who's been willing to come forward and help us make movies by giving us the flow ahead of time. But this time, everybody decided to do it. We decided to do it. Can you talk a little bit about that and what sort of drove that decision?
Well, part of that was me, and part of that was Zoe as a company deciding that it was a good plan. I think what really got us going this is on this timeline was we had there's like, and this is going to get into what you're going to talk about in a second, but like the scheduling and the timing of JQ4 and which was done but not fulfilled. This would have been early last year.
Uh-huh.
And then I got impatient. So I figured I could force the company's hand by seeking the state film office film production incentive and like applying for that. They have a small budget program, so I applied for that, and then it got accepted. And at that point, I came back to Rennie and said, "Hey, look, we're leaving some money on the table unless we shoot within the timeline established by this program. And so, how can we make it work?" And at that point, we figured out how to make it work, and it turned out, given the exigencies of having to fulfill JQ4 and the upcoming shoot of Gamers Dorkness Falls, that this would have been the best way to do it. So, the other crucial factor was cast availability, and given that it's a gigantic cast, and we keep adding main roles to it with every episode, so and a lot of these people are not full-time actors, and they have, lives and day jobs and kids and like other stuff that's not just making silly gamer movies. So scheduling around that proved to be a challenge, which led to the question that Rennie started off with, which was why we shot it in 2 blocks. Because when was it 2024? October of 2024.
Yeah.
First.
It was October. Yeah.
And that's when we shot the game table stuff, and we flew up Maggie. I think she was the only one who had to travel. Everyone else is still local. So we shot the game table scenes in October, and then we lost a few people over the winter due to the theater season here locally. Everyone who is an actor here usually gets into a play or two, stage play. And it just ended up that we couldn't shoot the rest of the film until February. And then we did that, and I've been editing ever since, and now we need to pay for it all.
Yeah. So that is a great sort of not just a small nutshell, but it sort of opens up a window into sort of the process of what we do. I gotta say, I don't know. you hear me talk about the vagaries of fate when it comes to making productions and how it's not easy. And by the way, if you have questions, folks, please pop them in your various chats. We will go ahead and capture them, and then I'll see them and I'll relay them to Gabe as necessary. Okay, so I see them there, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for posting, and thank you, Team Zoe, for capturing these questions. But getting back to this idea of breaking up production into two different sessions, I want to say it was 2022. Could have been 2021, but I remember very specifically. It was August or end of July, and I literally landed in Indianapolis to go to Gen Con, and I received a call from Gabe specifically around gamers. And this particular movie, and the question was, when are we going to get it shot? We got to get it shot. When can we start to crowdfund for it? That was the question, right? That was the question, right? Because we had a script and we were ready. But there was this JQ4 thing. This JQ4 thing going on. And so I personally did not feel good about asking for more funds when we had not yet fully delivered the previous movie. And so we really had to get sort of that all wrapped up before we could drive forward. And actually it was 2021, because I think there was also issues around shooting JQ4. I don't remember. It was, I think that was part of it too. And so leading into this, and folks, this is where the reality of filmmaking comes in. Like, it's one thing if we have a camera in our pocket and a script and a bunch of friends who just want to come out and shoot a movie. But at our level of professionals, of people who are taking time outside of their regular careers to do our things, it is a lot of work. And kudos to all the producers who take time to make this stuff happen. It takes more than one producer to make this happen. We had Megan, and we had Jonathan, we had Drago, we had myself. All working together to try and make these things happen. Some things are day-to-day, such as getting food ordered or getting permits. On my end, I was negotiating insurance, and that was weeks of pain. And Gabe knows this pain. We've talked about, like, we needed insurance for the boat, and we needed insurance for the cars, and for the explosions, and for the parks. And so
spoilers, man.
Or that's for a different movie.
For example, you're just citing examples, right?
Yeah.
Not anything specific to this.
No, like the skydiving sequence.
And
on all of that. So with that, we had to break this production into multiple parts. Now, so Gabe, like, with the breaking it up, how did that impact you? Was that difficult? Would it have been easier to put it all together? I mean, tell me about that.
Well, not really, actually, to be honest. I mean, shooting everything together would have been better, probably, for the production side of things and for various reasons. But for me personally, and for, like, actors, it's fine. Because typically with these films, we shoot all the game table stuff first, and then sort of, on this one, I was able to start editing and, like, lay those chunks out, and then we shoot all the game scenes afterwards, and that really helps those, because on Gamers the Series, the characters are different actors from the gamers. So the actors playing the characters in game can then look at what the gamers did around the table and sort of model their performances around that. And I know that they find that really, really fun and enriching as performers. And that's a little bit different from, like, Darkness Rising, where they're the same actors playing their own characters. I guess it's a little more like Hands of Fate, where you have the card game players, and then all the card characters are different actors.
Yeah. By the way, I love Hands of Fate. I have a big soft spot for Hands of Fate in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Why? Who doesn't love Hands of Fate?
Well, there are people who just
I don't. I've never heard of that.
No, I know it's weird. I mean, we had stormtroopers in it. So, yeah. Anyway, so okay, we broke up shooting. It took a long time to get here, and we mentioned that we actually pre-funded this movie. So a couple of angel investors came in to front this movie, which it was, it's sort of a thing. But we're really lucky. Hi, we're really, really, really lucky that we have Washington Filmworks giving us some money back to sort of offset this the shooting this film. So I mean, but all that aside, there's actually a question that popped in. I want to throw it in right now just so that we can where's the question? It's the question goes, this is from Crit Dice. With other gamers things coming to an end, what? Is Gamers Attack of the Pwns heading for a conclusive arc, or is this rebirthing the franchise again?
Oh man.
I'm gonna let Gabe talk for a moment, but because Gabe will be able to talk. Gabe will be able to talk.
1 second.
Sure. Gabe will be able to talk authoritatively to this. As you probably already know, with the Shadow Menace, we sort of jumped off from the very, very first Gamers movie. We jumped off from the very first Gamers movie, and we sort of are telling the stories of what happened to those original characters. We sort of bifurcated off this way, whereas Darkness Rising sort of started anew. And so Darkness Rising, we'll call that, Gamers the movie 2, Hands of Fate gave it the movies 3, and then the most recent shot movie, Gamers 4, is sort of telling that story with, Lodge and Gary, etc. But our stories are, pivoting off of the original characters. So I guess the question is, and Gabe, we have to be a little careful around how we talk to this. But the question is,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a bit of a precarious position because I do know the answer to that.
Me too.
But I can't. I mean, I also just directed that one as well. Oops, all gamers for me this year.
Yeah.
But
I get the question is it rebirthing? Let's ask that. Is this rebirthing, or is this a denouement? Is this allowing us to?
I can see a lot of potential for Gamers the series. So this one that we're talking about here, Attack of the Pwns, is a middle chapter for sure. So there's no rebirthing. There's no rebirthing happening here. In as far as denouement, the next planned Gamers the series is going to attempt to bring in some of the loose threads from other series. I don't know exactly how that's going to happen. I have a personal wish list, which may not all be doable, but for people who've been following along for years and decades, there will be definitely some conclusions.
Some closure? Do you feel like there's closure?
I mean, closure is so final. I would say some things will be concluded. I feel a lot safer saying that.
Tying up some threads, maybe? We can say that come episode 3.
It's more like a braid. Like you can bring a thread in here, but other ones can continue.
Is that a Return of the Jedi type of idea? Where we could still continue the stories, but there is some stories
Yeah,
that
I
need to wrap
mean,
up.
like I'd love to continue the tradition of Star Wars title puns. I mean, it'd be worth it just for that reason alone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, totally.
Like The
I
Horse Awakens or something like that.
Look, I think to answer this question without saying too much, the reality is, we there's a couple parts to this. One of them is the story and the characters. And then there is, and they have their stories that we're
Yeah,
trying to tell. But on the flip side, we also have the actors. And to be fair, it's like there are people who want to maybe move on. There are people who are like, you know what? There's different things I want to tell, or different things I want to do. And as creators, we need to also honor those requests as well. It's sort of a interesting dynamic. And so I would, at least from a Zoe perspective, and I can't speak from the gamers creators,
yeah,
but I can speak from Zoe's perspective. I would personally love to rebirth a gaming type of franchise in some
sure.
way, right?
Yeah,
That is relevant to the younger generation. I mean, look, Gabe's daughter's back there playing Minecraft, right? And like, no, it's awesome. My daughter, I play Minecraft. I have an amazing server. I play Minecraft with lots of my older friends. We play Minecraft, and I think that there is a way to make gamers relevant to younger people too. Not that it's not relevant, but do you agree with that, Gabe? What do you think?
uh, kinda like Minecraft isn't that new anymore either. Like,
Well, I mean, I'm not
and
using
and
Minecraft, but
my my counter argument to that would be that I would say Dungeons and Dragons is probably more mainstream and popular now than it was in 2002. So, like, let's not write off the youths just yet. Uh,
Yeah. I think there is a level of sensibilities, I think, is what I think I'm trying to touch
mm-hmm.
upon. And you're absolutely right. There's a lot more accessibility to D&D. Before, there was a subset of people and it was cool for them, but it wasn't cool for anybody else. And now we've
Yeah.
basically said, no, it's okay for everybody to play D&D, right? So that's
Yeah,
great.
and like there's like news stories about like Hollywood celebrities playing, and there are people like voice actors who do stuff like Critical Role, and like that is massively popular. And so, you know what? What's Ashley Johnson, who's in HBO shows now? She's also D&D player on Critical Role, and like I hope I'm not mixing up my franchises there, but yeah, I'd say that there's definitely potential to do more tabletop gaming type stuff. And as for the actors getting tired of doing it and wanting to move on, I haven't heard anything like that. So, I mean, definitely we don't want to keep people on board when they're no longer willing, but
Yeah.
I trust they'll let us know when that happens. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
we kill off that character, easy peasy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so another question says I always enjoyed Humans and Households. Always hoped it would get more chapters. So I mean, I can talk to it. Do you want to talk to that, or should we talk to that at all?
I heard Matt Vancel wanted to do more, but that was a couple years ago, so I'm not sure if that's still in the works. I don't know. Do you know?
Yeah, so I can talk. So from a Zoe perspective, there is a deep interest in Humans and Households. Okay, there's a deep interest in doing lots of really more stuff. Of course, it all comes right down to fundraising toward it. And so it really comes right down to the right script. So I've been talking to Tony. Tony's the one who's really wanted to drive this forward. And I actually literally talked to Tony about it, I want to say 8 days ago, 10 days ago, about this very specific topic.
Mm-hmm.
So do we see it coming along? Absolutely, I do. And there's a caveat. Obviously, we need to be able to raise the funds to make it happen, and prioritize it amongst everything else. But it's something we're excited to do. You're going to say something, Gabe?
No, just that I think I read Tony's script a little bit ago. So
yeah, a little bit ago. Yeah. And you know what? Everything is a great idea until we actually budget it and figure out if the great idea plus money is balanced out, right? it's always a cost benefit ratio in some ways. It's how great is it, and is it something we can reasonably do? Somebody wrote more bikini mail. I think this is sort of I think this is in reference to me making a statement of making things, modernize and sensibilities. And I'll use a good example at Gen Con. There was a lot of this is 15 years ago, 15 years ago. There was a lot, 20 years ago actually. Bikini mail was a major thing, and people loved doing it. But about 15 years ago, 12 years ago, there started to be pushback around it, and for whatever reason. So I don't know. I don't really want to speak too much about that. I think we want to make sure that nobody feels exploited. That's an important part. But again, who knows? How do you all plan on grabbing the attention when you have to compete with things like Critical Role? Okay, Gabe. Yeah, why don't you? Do you want to answer that? I'm happy to answer it if you're not, but I can. Nope, I just lost you. You're muted. I can't hear Gabe. There. Now I can hear you. Nope, now I can't hear you.
Excuse me.
There.
I don't feel we're. Oh God, hold on a sec. Okay, sorry. Critical Role. I remember one project. I don't remember which one, but they actually sent their fans over to help one of our crowdfunding campaigns. So I feel no competition or animosity or jealousy or anything like that. Anyway, Rennie, take.
Yeah. Look, there's always, one day I would love to have projects like one of our projects or many of our projects just take huge center stage, right? And be a behemoth like Critical Role is. That would be great. But the reality is that I don't see it as a competition. People have plenty of time to watch what they want to watch, and we happen to be really good at the things that we do. But it may not find the mass audience that Critical Role does for whatever reason. Critical Role did. I can't speak to all the nuances that made Critical Role so popular when things like Our Gamers Live didn't have as much momentum. Why is that? It could be timing, it could be access to advertisement, it could be budget, it could be individuals who had access to other Hollywood talent who actually had larger audiences. There's lots of reasons for it, but the reality is I don't see a competition, and I feel like there is plenty of room for lots of content. It is not saturated, and the reality is even if there's a saturation point at one point, it goes away, and there's always a new thing.
Yeah.
Keen wrote, so the universe will continue, but the story will end. This is sort of tagging on to what we were saying. I think that's. I don't know if we're going to say the story will end. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that, but I do think that as we want to get to the third part of this series, we want to get Attack of the Pwns,
for sure,
right? And we want to get to the third, and we think that there's going to be some fan excitement once they actually see it. They'll go jaw drops. This is amazing. Wow. I think there's a lot to it. So, right. Would you agree to that, Gabe? Is that?
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So let's talk about where we are with Attack of the Pwns right now, and what are how much longer before it's ready to get into the fans' hands? And what are you thinking, Gabe? What's going
on? Right now I have an assembly cut that just has a few holes in it. that I am planning to either shoot myself, or I'm not planning to shoot myself. I am planning to film these bits of the little scenes, like tabletop minis on the tabletop, things that we don't need a full production team or actors for. We just need hands moving things on a table, and there's a few bits like that. But that's a nice segue. One of the things I kind of wanted to show here was screen share a little bit of the timeline and kind of show a little bit of the editing process. Sometimes people find that interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Okay.
And if people get angry or bored, they can yell in the chat and I will stop.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just
so let's
go ahead and put it up.
Try it.
Yeah, go ahead and pull it up. Let me know what's there. All right, and let's move
How's
over
that
there.
looking?
Yeah. So everybody, hopefully you can see it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, nice. So here we have Megan, our game master, talking about something, and then this is our scene that is a shot on green screen. We have New Moon and a mysterious person about to duel. So I thought I'd show you all a little bit of how VFX and green screen work. So I'm just gonna pop over to here and do the chroma key here and that, and I can just select the green and boom, we have a nice green screen. I'll flip back over to the edit, and I have made in Unreal Engine a sort of elf monastery proving grounds thing to be our background. It's too much. Oh, that's about right. So yeah, they don't quite fit in the space, so we're gonna zoom them down a bit. Here we go. It's about there. And then the color is weird. So we'll go over to the color, make that match a little better. Down, 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 down.
How was the background created there, Gabe?
That is an Unreal Engine.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So play that a little bit. All right. So it's really rough, and I can go in and go in and refine this. So we got lots of options here for like adjustment, and I won't bore you with all the fiddling there, but I'll just go ahead, and since we cut to another one, I made a tighter shot. So we'll do the same thing here. I think I can even copy this. And paste it. Oh, yep. It went in. Just a few little straggly bits there. Get our tighter shot. And the background doesn't quite match, so we're going to zoom in there. Yeah,
Since
bring it
you're
down.
using Unreal there, Gabe, are you going to also use sort of the 3D positioning of camera in Unreal and sort of match shots that way?
No, that would require a totally different camera setup that's able to track it in 3D space. And these cameras do have a little bit of gyro in them, but I don't think they can do this without additional, equipment rigged onto them. So
Got it.
there we go. And that matches. It's pretty close. So yeah. So I'll go in and like fix these, remaining green spill and stuff. And I'll end there and leave you with that little bit of mystery of what this scene is about. And just stop the screen share.
Great.
Any questions about that?
Well, yeah, I have a question. Like, look how
Yeah.
fast you did this. Why haven't you delivered me like a full-blown edit yet? You're so fast.
Because that was 2 shots done really quick and dirty. Here's why. I'm screen sharing again, since you asked.
Let me go back. Okay. Screen share. Okay.
So that was 2 shots done quickly and poorly. And I have, let's zoom out here. These are all the shots in the show. So all those little tiny bits I have to fiddle with and finesse until they look good. And it's just me at this point. So we do have other people coming in to help with some of the more complicated VFX stuff, and the post audio sound design Foley. I talked about this in one of the Backer Kit updates, but there's still a bit of work to be done.
Yeah, and all of those. This is the thing. All of those pieces, like there's the editing, there's the finessing, there's the visual effects that go into it. Then and there's the sound. There's all this work that still has to be done. Even once you have a pretty tight edit, and the color correcting and all that. I mean, and all that stuff takes time, right? And what is that old saying? I think it was George Lucas who said, "A movie is never completed, just abandoned." Right. I mean, that's like but that's true, right? I mean, there's only so much time. Like
at some point you do have to stop. Yeah. That's true.
But you could right? You could just continue fiddling forever.
You reach a point of diminishing returns, and you can continue fiddling forever. Like, I think Sofia Coppola, when she was a little girl, an interviewer was there at their place, and she said, "So do you know what your daddy does for a living?" And she said, "He edits Apocalypse Now."
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's really
and that was like before he did the re-release thing.
Yeah,
20 years after she said that. So yeah.
Well, okay, so let's somebody wrote, a Crit Dice wrote, really looking forward to what you all will be creating. Just wanted to give a personal thanks for having the love for this IP and hope all the major success. So, I mean, certainly thank you. Like, the fact is that sentiment that you've given, it reflects so many people, and it's exactly why Gabe gets to shoot this type of stuff, right?
Yeah, but I mean, thank you. That's why we do it. Like, if nobody liked it, there'd be no point. So
yeah. Well, I mean, let me get to that. Like, Gabe, you've done this for a long time. You've worked with Zoe on many projects, and with fans on many projects. Like, what is it that you love about it? Like, are you a hardcore gamer? Are you a film? Like, where does your passion
I'm more of a film guy. I am a gamer. I I do it. I'm not like totally in that world, but what I do love about when I get to go to Gen Con, because like I've made like my artsy serious drama type films, and you go to film festivals and you do the Q&A after the screening, and people ask you questions to make themselves sound smart, and I give answers to make myself sound smart, and it's all very sort of an intellectual affair. And people say, "Oh yeah, good job. I really liked the themes and the symbolism and stuff." And I like when I go to Gen Con and I see the passion that people have for these films, which also have themes and symbolism, but also people going absolutely nuts with joy, that's so much better. I just it's amazing. Like to be able to see that and see people really love it and not just enjoy it. They love it, that passion.
So Gabe, I started working at Gen Con in 2005, and before that I did consider myself a gamer. Like I did, like I loved Magic, and I played D&D, and I had lots of board games, and I love playing games. And when I showed up there, I felt like I was a fake gamer. Like and like right, well, I did not know like what a real gamer like. I'm sorry, I don't. But you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like I thought I was passionate until I ran into these people. And here's the one thing I will say: this one, if I can put my finger on one thing that that I love it when somebody wears a costume from one of our movies.
Oh yeah.
Like that's crazy to me. It is
Like
crazy.
the pictures of the cosplayers along with like the actual actors at the booth. That's
Yes.
so cool.
It is. It is just. It is so. It is the best because it shows fandom at its most raw.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a full range. Right. There's a full range of fans. Like there's like I'm a fan, and yes, I have stormtrooper armor, but I'm not the fan that way, but and I really appreciate it when when I meet somebody who's so passionate, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful, right? I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
one of my favorite sites at Gen Con is people with those gigantic, like they're not IKEA bags, they're bigger, full of game boxes, and that's their haul for the day. And they do that every day.
Yeah. Actually, who I always want to be is I am not a minis gamer. However, I love miniatures and I love painting them. I just love them. They're fiddly. But I envy those gamers who roll around those big, canvas bags full of all their minis. Like, and they're on like a little wheeler, like a wheeling bag. Then they
Yeah.
obviously have like 500 miniatures with them, and I'm thinking, oh, I want those so bad.
That's serious. That's legit. Yeah.
That's legit. Okay, so I have a question that just came in, and this might be this. We'll see what you think. So, will we ever get some background on the professor? He is seemingly quite knowledgeable about Fartherall and existence of magic. Hop jockey, perhaps.
Okay.
I can.
So who asked that? They know too much.
Chris Smith.
Okay.
So, well, I know. I think it's fair to say that I asked. Go ahead, Gabe.
The clues are there, and Chris, whoever Chris has clearly picked up on at least some of them. But yeah, it's something to look forward to in the next episode.
Yeah. All I can say on this one, and I think look, the reason why we want to get this one done, this movie, is so that we can do the next one. And the answer is, will we get some background on the professor? We're going to get background on all of these people, and the answer is you're going to feel satisfied with information that you receive, generally speaking, right? Because that's the third movie. The third movie wants to pull things together. I'm sure you'll figure stuff. You'll learn stuff, and it'll be great. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. It's oh my god, I'm so tempted to say something that I think will be cryptic, but will just be a massive spoiler. So I'm just gonna not.
No. Look, there's lots going on, and again, I think let's get Attack of the Pwns out so that we can do the third movie. Do we have a name for the third movie, or are we gonna hold tight on it?
Revenge of the Myth. Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Michael Fuller off of Facebook. To expand on my previous question, how do you plan on getting viewed by a wider audience? Are there any plans to bring the gamers to more eyes than they have currently?
I mean, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
The way we've gotten to here is by word of mouth from fans. So that's what are your plans to get the gamers to more people? Let me just turn that back on you, because
it is in the hands of their fans. You know, so there's a couple aspects to this, and Gabe is absolutely right. Like the reason why Dead Gentleman did so well early on was because it was a grassroots campaign where they went to conventions and they talked to fans, and fans shared these movies with their friends, and we gave them the power to do so by saying, make copies, share it with friends, and then buy them if you can. Right? We still say that. You know what? You can go to zombieorpheus.com right now and watch all of our stuff for free. We would ask that you watch it on our site and nowhere else, because it does help us through YouTube ad revenue. It does help us, but the reality is, share it with your friends. Now that is on you. On our end, is there plans? The answer is yes. We do have plans for growing and expanding, but that's all I can really say, because folks, there's not a lot of us on this end. Like Gabe is doing the movie, right? There might be a person who does a writing. There is somebody who, there are a few people who are helping on the Discord to do things. Chris Odie does things with Gen Con. But the reality is, it's not like a behemoth of a company that has infinite resources. We're very, very, very lean. And so we have to prioritize how we do things. And right now, my priority is getting Attack the Pwns funded through this backer kit funding, and getting Journey Quest 4 out. Those are my two top priorities, other than keeping the lights on. So, I mean, just know, once we get JQ4 fulfilled, then these other things, we can start putting effort into these other aspects of them. But that's not the reality. All right. Morallyambiguous.net says, Gabe, you would shudder if you could ever see our theories in the old Zoe forums.
Where can I see that?
Yeah, where are the old Zoe forums?
And big disclaimer on my part, I don't even know all the stuff or what was originally planned. Like I help rewrite some stuff. I've written scripts, but I've never sat down and typed out a whole installment of this. Like, I'll come in and I'll throw in ideas, and I'll hear ideas of what we're possibly going to do next. But as far as the deep lore, I don't even know. Some of this stuff comes as a surprise to me, and some of the clues that are in films that I directed, like, slipped in there unbeknownst to me, merely because I did what I was told. I just read the script and I did my job, and I'm like, I didn't know what it meant. So, to be honest, I'm not the mastermind. I don't have the master plan. I just know what I think would be cool, and like stuff like The Professor, I think is going to be, really satisfying for everyone. But I am not completely privy to everything. So.
That brings up another. Let's talk a little bit around that, Gabe. This is a very interesting point. The thing you just said was, they give me a script and I shoot it, and I may not know all the nuances, all the motivations, whatever. I'm given some information. When the actors ask me questions, I give them directorial advice for right now, because I may not have
I might have access to Matt, I may not, but like this is the information that I have, right? Like, so isn't it amazing like that you can do that and it still works?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. And I've made mistakes too, but hopefully nobody notices that.
Well, that's why you retcon it later.
Right. Like that was intentional. That was intentional.
Well, look, you know what did Bob Ross call them?
Happy little mistake.
Right? And folks, I mean, this is the creator heart at its finest. You know, movies are not made by one person; they're made by a whole community of people. And sometimes a thing is put in there that is either accidental or intentional to go this way that we didn't catch. Like all of these things happen, and then we put it out there, and somebody says, did you see that?" And we're like, "Oh."
I mean, it's not just us. Like Star Wars is full of this too.
Yeah.
Like mistakes that become canon, and then like fans do fan theories, and then like further installments of Star Wars take that and incorporate it, and I know we've done that as well. So
I know we have too. It's happy little mistakes, right? These are, we call these creative opportunities that they're organic. Like I may not have been nearly as clever as the mistake that actually spawned the idea, you know? Yeah. All right. So, okay, you're wrapping up, you're getting the editing down. When do you think, do you, you know, no pressure, obviously there, I want you to do a great job, but when do you think the fans are going to be able to see a version of this movie?
I would like to get it out by Gen Con, and I hope I'm not shooting myself in the foot by saying that, but that was kind of the plan, and I still want to do it. So
a version of it, not the final version.
I guess it's safer to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, frankly, like everybody knows, like when we started this, I said to everybody, I want to get this ready to sell at Gen Con. Like that was sort of the hope. That was my dream. The reality is it's a pipe dream, right? There's so much that needs to happen, and I would love to see it, but that's 90 days. That's less than 90 days from now. And, you know, yeah. And so it's just not a realistic. So, okay. So after this, Gabe, what is your next? Is there another? Are you working on Gamers 4?
Yeah, I'm not involved in post on that so far.
Okay,
but I've seen some of the stuff that we shot, and it looks good to me.
Yeah.
So there's that. I'm also going to be directing Liberty Cabbage season 2 in the fall. And then don't have anything planned beyond that.
We should probably do Gamers the Series 3 Attack.
That would be cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When am I going to see that script?
No comment.
When do I get a green light that script?
Hopefully it'll be fewer than 8 years.
Shoot. Well, you know, as long as no pandemic comes and hits us, you know, and it slows everything down to a crawl, as long as tariffs don't end up, you know, tearing us apart when it comes to movie making, then yeah. All right. Other questions. There is no other questions on the boards here. Let's see. Tony will stab you for reals if you do a spoiler.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, he's not the only one on set with a knife anymore, so.
Yeah, I got mine right here. So. So Mike Fuller says, so everyone earned waffles? LOL?
They did good. They get waffles.
Yeah, they get waffles. Yeah, so I think we're getting down to wrap time. I know we started a few minutes late, but I like to sort of finish around 6 o'clock because Gabe needs to get back to playing Minecraft with his daughter.
It was actually Rust, which
Oh, it was
is
Rust.
yeah.
Wow.
I know. Like I wish I could see. I wish the people she kills brutally and mercilessly could know that they've got owned by an 8-year-old girl. I would just love to see that. Anyway.
Oh, that's so funny. That's
Yeah.
so funny.
But actually, I'm going to get back to editing this gamers film that I'm supposed to deliver in 90 days. So
Yeah, you should get back to that. I
um,
am actually going to take a walk this afternoon and try to get myself into a little better shape. And I'm going to play some World of Warcraft.
oh, nice.
Yeah, that's my thing. So I don't know if any of you play World of Warcraft at all, but we should probably start doing a community gaming thing. That would be another good thing we should probably be doing. So I'll get onto the Discord forums and figure that out. All right, thank you, Gabe, for your time. Do you have any last words to give to everybody before we call it?
No, just spread the word about the crowdfunding. Help us get this done. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for making all of this possible and employing me.
Yeah, we're grateful. We're grateful for all of you. So I didn't put a goodbye screen on here. So I'm going to OBS has a fade to black option. So that's what we're going to do is we're going to do a slow 300 millisecond fade to black.
Okay.
I do want to say thank you, everybody, for your support as well. And Attack of the Pwns, the backer kit is live right now. We need more backers. We would really love it. And not only that, but we have scholarships for people who are not in a place to be able to support the project themselves. You can apply for these scholarships. We have there's 60 or 80 that have not been claimed yet, these scholarships to support the project. And so if you would like to support it, if you would like to, but you don't have the means at this exact moment, or you just want to be part of it, but again, you don't have the means, apply for the scholarship. We want them to be used. Okay, they're there to be used. They're part of the success of this project. So
Yeah.
please support it. We're trying to drive it forward. We really, really can use the success of this Attack of the Pwns campaign. And please, folks, if you have friends who think they've supported it, here's something we've discovered. People are confusing our Journey Quest 4 campaign, Gamers 4 campaign, and Gamers Attack of the Pwns campaign. They're getting them all mixed up. This is just the vagaries of fate, but just be aware this is for Attack of the Pwns. It is Gamers 2 the series, or the series 2 Attack of the Pwns, and it's not Gamers 4 the movie, and it's not Journey Quest 4. So that being said, we'll see you in the funny papers, and thanks for your time. Thanks, Gabe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.